Hi, my name is Mike Demaro, and I want to welcome you to the latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. Today's topic I'm going to be talking about is emails. Everybody has an email address. Almost everybody in the world has an email address. They have at least one email address. Some people, if they're in charge of an organization, may have another email address. If they're in charge of if they have a job, they'll have an email address for that. If they're in charge of a business, they'll have an email for that. If they try to send out their resumes and don't want to confuse it with their personal email, they'll have an email address for that. If you go to school or college, you'll have an email for that. Or work at a school or college, you'll have an email. So the world is email infested. Let's put it that way. Now, email, known as electronic mail, most commonly referred to as email, or e-mail, since circa 1993, is a method of exchanging digital messages from an author to one or more recipients. Modern email operates across the internet or other computer networks. Some early email systems required that the author and the representative both be online at the same time, in common with today's instant messaging. Today's email systems are based on a store and forward model, which means you send an email and then the next time the recipient logs in, they'll get that email. But now my use of email is like, I'm happy if I get any email, but I'm happy if I get an email at all. But most commonly the emails I get are junk mail, or like, oh, you won the lottery, or oh, if you help me out with this, you'll get a large sum of money, and and you have to send the money to Africa, or one of those scams out there. And then you have some of the emails that have pharmaceutical plans that are cheap and free and blah blah this, blah blah that. Or I get an email like, do you have insurance for a car and for yourself, and how we save you money, help you save you money, blah blah this, blah blah that. You know what I mean. Most commonly, that's the type of email people would receive, or that's the most common email I would receive. Now, there are cases where I do use my email address to send out resumes, or if I ask for help or something, and and people just don't care these days, I try to send out a resume. Here's an example. I tried to send out a resume to a school for autism back last month in June, around mid-June, because one of my friends worked at school, and they told me that they were going to be on vacation until like the end of the month or after 4th of July, so wait until then, maybe you'll hear something. It's after 4th of July already, so I was waiting to see what their decision was. So I had to email them and ask them what's going on, what's the status of my resume, and I still haven't heard anything from them to this date. Now, another case where I'm waiting to hear back from an email is I emailed an agency that helps people out that have autism and Asperger's. I asked them if they could help me out and help me find a place to live and help me look for a job and whatever. This was last week when I emailed them, and I still haven't received a response back from them. And I'm going to wait until the end of this week to hear back from them. And if I don't hear back from them, I'm going to try contacting them again, because I do need help in my life. You know, I know the world doesn't revolve around me, but sometimes to plan out a future, you do need to email and ask for help. You know, so you can plan ahead. You know, like, you know what bothers me the most when we talk about emails? Like when I send out a resume, yeah, I know, and I send out a resume for a particular position, I'm I'm waiting to hear back from them to see if I got the position, if I needed to go for an interview, or if they choose to go with somebody else, or they choose not to hire me at this time. You know, it really bothers me when people do not email me back because it's rude, and I feel insulted by not getting an email back from a particular job or a particular employer or a particular person. You know, even if I email to ask for help, and if I don't get a response, it's like you have insulted me by not emailing back and telling me, oh, you can't help me out. Or, you know, I understand that people go away on vacation and they'll get back to me when they come back from vacation. You know, there are some cases where I do email a resume or do email someone and they have an away message that they send out when they get the email, like, or when you send the email out to the person, it automatically comes back with a response that says, oh, I'm going to be away from this computer from this date to this day, limited internet access, don't know if I'm going to be able to reply to emails until I come back. You know? Some people will do that. I can understand that. But if people don't do that, you know, then how long are we supposed to wait for an answer? How long are we supposed to wait? You know? It drives me nuts when I don't hear back from people. You know? Like I understand that some people will call me too. And that's another thing that bothers me. When people call me and they don't leave a voicemail message if I cannot pick up the phone in time, that bothers me too. Because how am I supposed to know what you want? How am I supposed to know why you are calling? How am I supposed to know how to reach you back? You know? It's like, give me a break. I know that some people expect you to answer the phone when you get the phone call, and, you know, it doesn't work out that way. And I know it's hard for some people to think, oh, let's not leave a voicemail message so they don't call back. You know, I feel that same way with email. When I email someone, oh, let's not email them back because they don't deserve to get a reply back by email. You know, it's rude to not do that. It's rude to not email somebody back in a reply. You know? I understand that some people do want to take their time in making a decision. Sometimes that's how the way I feel when I come to decisions. I have to take my time in making them sometimes. But you shouldn't leave that person hanging. Just email them back and say, no, we haven't made a decision yet. Or, no, we're looking over your resume still. We're still determining if you get the job or not. You know? That's all I want to hear back. If you didn't make up your mind yet. You know? Don't leave me hanging. How am I supposed to know if you leave people hanging? You know? It's like, give me a break. I love to email people. And I love to hear back from people, but if they don't email me back, then how am I supposed to know what's going on? You know? I do love emailing people. And if they don't respond back to when I ask them to respond back, then it's like, give me a break, you know? Oh. Anyways, I will talk to you guys all later. Enjoy this video. Thank you.